let's do this. Let's run and talk. Now let's do this in a certain way where maybe it doesn't seem like I'm complaining, because I'm certainly not complaining, because my goal is not to complain whatsoever. My goal is to just share with you some of the things I've learned in the few months I've been doing this trip from Annapolis down to the Bahamas. Number one, probably the money factor. It is very expensive to cruise on a sailboat. I honestly don't know what a lot of these other people, how they have their money. A lot of older people that are retired are the ones out there cruising. I've been a lawyer, well, kind of a public service lawyer for 10 years, and I've already gone through pretty much all my savings just with this boat and the trip. So you got to have a lot of money saved up. I know that some of the boaters will obviously make money from the road, on the boat, maybe doing social media. Sorry for the wind. Social media, or other jobs that you can do from the internet. Now, that's also tricky because I haven't been able to even get internet. I'm getting 2G service on my phone that I can do a tethering Wi-Fi hotspot, but 2G, I actually downloaded a 13-second video on YouTube, just a quick shot of where I was. That took about an hour to upload, 13 seconds. So you can kind of forget about doing any serious work online. Now, there are options if I wanted to spend more money, and I could get the local service. I could get the local, I think it's called Alive, and you can buy like a hotspot piece, and I don't know what it is per month. I think it's like $100 a month, and you actually get good like 4G service that you can connect to on the boat if you're within cell tower range. That's the other thing. If you're outside of cell tower range, then obviously you don't get anything. So anyway, that's just a little piece of the, can you work from the boat? I guess it depends on if you put in all the extras for the extra services and just put that money into your business expenses, then yes, you could do it. You're going to be spending a lot on supplies for the boat, maintenance, repair, parts, things of that nature. You're going to, I just decided to kind of walk for a bit because it didn't really make sense to try to jog with the camera. Okay, what else we got? We've got continuing on with the expenses issue. Anchoring is free if you can find a place to anchor, but there again, you might be in a more remote area without certain other services, so it's kind of a sacrifice. I love to do the anchoring where you're in a little more of a remote area. If you go to like Nassau or any of the bigger cities, you're most likely going to have to find a marina. There are some anchoring spots, but a lot of people don't understand that a marina, just tying up to the dock, is going to cost you like $125 or $150 a night, and that's for a pretty cheap marina. And there you might have showers and laundry, but then again, you could spend that and be at a hotel room. So I don't know why the marinas are so expensive whenever you're providing your own living quarters on the boat. But that's an issue that I didn't comprehend before I started this. Sometimes in the US you can actually find marinas that are a little cheaper than the smaller towns. When we were going through the ICW, we found a couple of marinas that were like $50 a night, and that was a great relief. I'm kind of constantly thinking, well, would I be able to do this whole adventure just easily, flying to the places that I've been visiting and maybe doing some boating excursions through some of the local people that take you out on boats and things. Probably I could have. Probably would have been cheaper doing that. You can get, obviously, in any kind of Airbnb, 30 or 40 bucks is what I typically spend on an Airbnb if it's going to be just myself, really trying to save money. Flights, you know, you can island hop over here in the Bahamas for like $100 one way. So you can get around, stay for a week, and not spend a whole lot of money, especially compared to marina fees if you're going to do the marina route. But anchoring is free, so that's a benefit. All right, so that's the anchoring, that's the expenses. The other things I didn't know necessarily when I started was the difficulty in a lot of the sailing, especially in the open ocean. You've got, you know, I mean, unless it's really great conditions, which is probably 50% of the time, it's either good conditions or 50% bad conditions. But when you get into the bad conditions, it's really miserable. When you're by yourself especially, you know, if you're going against the wind, you've got huge waves, a lot of stress involved with that. Again, people are going, oh, you're a crybaby, you're in this paradise, and all you can do is complain. I'm not complaining, I'm just telling you how it is. With another person, you feel a little bit safer because you got that other person able to help out. So that's a plus. But that's what a lot of the people I think that comment on my videos don't really understand. I had a comment with some guy a couple days ago saying, you know, why would you go down the ICW? Why didn't you go for a straight shot in the ocean? Isn't it much quicker? Well, yeah, if you would have watched my, as I explained in one of the previous videos, the weather was really bad for like a week. And so it was either a matter of staying put for a week, waiting the weather out up in Virginia, or going ahead and taking the ICW to have that experience. At least you're moving and making some progress forward. The other thing I think it was beneficial to take the ICW for my boat in particular was the fact that we were able to shake out a lot of the problems of the boat, because I had a lot of engine problems, some other issues that if we would have just taken off and we would have done like the 6 to 10 day sail to the Bahamas in open ocean, we would have been up a creek without a paddle, without getting some of those repairs fixed beforehand. So I think in our case it was really beneficial to take the ICW for half of the portion down the coast to kind of work out the shakedown cruise. Obviously, so what are some of the positives? I mean, there's so many positives. I can't even name them all, but you know, just to be in these remote areas in this island here, Long Island, Bahamas, meeting some of the local people, taking my dinghy to the dock, and I see some kids playing, and they throw in some fish parts that have been caught earlier that are, you know, they're what do you call them? Chum, I guess. So they throw that into the water, and here comes like a couple of nurse sharks, and just really cool things you would not see elsewhere and experience elsewhere. And some of the people I've been meeting are the nicest people ever. Those are the positive things. Some of the days that you do have great conditions sailing, there's nothing like that. Sailing on, you know, moderate wind with calm conditions as far as waves, and there's nothing better than that. And like I said, that may be 50% of the time. And that's if you actually are looking closely at the weather to make sure you're only going out whenever it's like that. For example, I got here and now we've had about 4 or 5 days of heavy winds and big waves, so I'm not going to leave this anchorage until we get a bit of a break in the wind. So there's that issue. You're constantly, you know, delayed, which isn't a bad thing. There's worse places to be delayed. This island is great. The other issue I mentioned earlier was being solo. That's tough at times, doing a solo sailing for months at a time. You don't have your loved one with you, or sharing the moments with other people, which I think there's always a benefit to that. There is something to be said for challenging yourself and you know, challenging yourself in the aspect of doing solo sailing, just to see if you can do it. And there's that kind of reward whenever you do anchor by yourself and you feel good about, you know, oh, look, I was able to do this by myself. Grab a mooring ball by yourself. Put up the sails by yourself. You know, very rewarding for a sort of a solo experience, but so much more that you're missing if you are alone and you don't have other people to share it with, or also to share in some of the duties. So anyway, that's pretty much my talk. I wanted to just give you a quick one-on-one time to just talk to the viewer, see what you are interested in. Some of the questions I've been getting with comments, I figured I would address those. Again, I'm certainly not complaining about anything whatsoever. I would not trade this experience. You know, one thing I probably would do different is I would have you know, my significant other on the trip with me. We would experience it together. It's the only thing I can think of